Good evening, I'm Kimilia and this is KiniNews. Former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak won his appeal on the royal addendum today, putting him one step closer towards serving house arrest. The Court of Appeal has allowed Najib Abdul Razak's appeal for leave to commence judicial review to compel the Home Minister and the government to enforce an alleged royal addendum by the previous Yang di-Pertuan Agong for him to serve house arrest. The three-person bench in a split 2-1 decision ordered for the Kuala Lumpur High Court to hear the merits of Najib's judicial review. In reading out the majority ruling, Court of Appeal panel member Judge Muhammad Firuz Jafril noted that there was no rebuttal from the respondents challenging the existence of the alleged royal addendum. He stated that Najib had demonstrated an arguable case. Earlier during the proceedings, Firuz said he is disturbed that the Attorney General's chambers had not outrightly challenged the existence of the addendum. The judge pointed out that so far, the arguments by the legal representative for the Home Minister, the government and several others were legal technicalities rather than denying the existence of the addendum. Najib's win means that the Kuala Lumpur High Court will hear the merits of his lawyer's arguments that the addendum does exist and that the government must ensure it is enforced. Najib is set to rely on his son Nizar's affidavit as well as an alleged letter from the Pahang Palace confirming the existence of the royal addendum. In a press conference following the court's decision, Home Minister Saifuddin Nasution Ismail clarified that his ministry and Prisons Department never received the royal addendum granting Najib house arrest.
Ini adalah surat yang Jabatan Penjara terima, maknanya tidak ada yang menyebut tentang tahanan rumah. Jadi sebagai Jabatan Penjara yang melaksanakan perintah ini, perintah oleh pengerusi lembaga pengampunan, ya, beserta dengan minit yang disertakan, maka Jabatan Penjara harus amanah dalam melaksanakannya. Dan itulah yang kami laksanakan. Jadi itu penting bagi menepis sebarang persepsi bahawa Kementerian Dalam Negeri, khususnya Jabatan Penjara, tidak patuh atau tidak akur. Jauh sama sekali daripada dikatakan menyembunyikan apa-apa keputusan oleh lembaga pengampunan.
The royal addendum was confirmed earlier today when Najib's lawyer Muhammad Shafi Abdullah submitted a letter from the Pahang Palace dated January 4th, which had been issued to Najib's eldest son, Pahang Exco Muhammad Nizar. Former Premier Najib Abdul Razak's lawyer Muhammad Shafi Abdullah submitted a letter from the Pahang Palace to the Court of Appeal this morning. The letter confirms that the previous Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Sultan Ahmad Shah issued a royal addendum concerning Najib. The letter, which was signed by the Comptroller of the Royal Household for the Sultan of Pahang, Ahmad Kirizal Abdul Rahman, confirmed that Sultan Abdullah ordered Najib to serve the remainder of his jail term under house arrest. Earlier during the proceedings, Shafi had argued that the royal addendum on house arrest exists. He contended that the addendum was kept hidden until it surfaced on December 2nd last year. He said the addendum surfaced after the Kuala Lumpur High Court dismissed Najib's house arrest judicial review in July last year. According to him, Najib's son Muhammad Nizar was contacted by the Pahang Royal House's Comptroller on January 4th to say that a letter would be issued to Nizar regarding the addendum, and he received it a day later. Before we move on, if you'd like access to news like this and more, scan the QR code on the screen and subscribe to Malaysia Kini. Moving on to Umno, the party has requested that Najib be granted a full pardon. Umno has appealed to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong to grant former Premier Najib Abdul Razak a full pardon. This came after the Court of Appeal today granted Najib's appeal to commence a judicial review at the High Court to compel the government to enforce an alleged decree by the previous Agong granting Najib house arrest. A letter from the Pahang Palace was submitted to the court, which confirmed that the addendum was real. In a statement today, Umno President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi expressed gratitude to Pahang ruler Sultan Abdullah Sultan Ahmad Shah for affirming the addendum's existence. Previously, the Attorney General's chambers had announced that the current Agong, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar, had decreed that Najib's house arrest bid must go through the Pardons Board, chaired by the sitting monarch. Istana Negara issued another statement which appeared to affirm this on Friday. Back to the royal addendum, the opposition has hit out at Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim over the matter, claiming that he betrayed the Rakyat by not confirming its existence. A PAS leader called on him to take responsibility and step down. Opposition leaders have accused Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim of concealing a royal addendum that purportedly allowed Najib Abdul Razak to serve his sentence under house arrest. This came following the Court of Appeal's decision on Najib's case. Opposition leader Hamzah Zainuddin said that the Prime Minister is bound by his oath of loyalty to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and the Federal Constitution. He added that any act of defiance, concealment or denial of a royal decree constitutes a grave treason against the monarchy and the nation. He said the Prime Minister bears full responsibility for executing any royal decrees, including the royal addendum. Meanwhile, Past Information Chief Ahmad Shari called for Anwar's resignation, saying the denial of the royal decree's existence reflects the government's dishonesty in addressing issues of justice and individual rights. In a statement today, he said this not only tarnishes the nation's judicial system, but also raises significant questions about the integrity of national leadership. He also claimed that the government's actions represent a serious violation of Najib's right to a fair trial and justice. With this, he called on the Prime Minister to take full responsibility for this crisis of trust and step down immediately in an honorable manner.
BN has hit out at opportunists who once insulted Najib but are now trying to capitalize on him for political gain.
Barisan Nasional has hit out at those who they said were trying to capitalize on former Premier Najib Abdul Razak's court case. In a statement last night, BN said it is an immoral act to use Najib's suffering, who they have once insulted and slandered in their political propaganda, to now build momentum to achieve their political goals. Although they did not name anyone, it is believed that BN was referring to plans by PAS to continue with a rally in solidarity with Najib. The rally coincides with the Court of Appeal hearing Najib's bid to confirm a royal addendum, allowing him to serve his remaining prison sentence under house arrest. On Friday night, Umno decided not to proceed with the rally after Istana Negara issued a statement that reaffirmed bids for clemency must go through the Pardons Board. Zahid had warned yesterday that any Umno members who joined the rally would be doing so at their own risk. PAS, however, stood firm in continuing with the rally, which is said was also to safeguard the Agong's powers in granting pardons. In the statement, BN also stressed that the coalition maintained the legal process that Najib is facing must be transparent. It also thanked all those who were organizing prayers in support of Najib instead of the rally.
Bersih has responded to Najib's daughter over her sarcastic remarks about wearing Bersih t-shirts to pass police roadblocks in order to attend the solidarity rally for Najib.
Bersih has responded to Najib Abdul Razak's daughter, Nuriana Najwa, over her remark on wearing the Electoral Watchdog's t-shirt in an effort to attend a solidarity rally for Najib. In a post on Twitter, Bersih chairperson Faisal Abdul Aziz indicated he had no problem with it. He said she can go ahead if she wants to wear a Bersih t-shirt. He also urged the authorities not to detain her under any law, especially under SOSMA, as was done by the government in 2016 to Bersih chairperson Maria Chin Abdullah during the Bersih 5 rally. Faisal also stressed that the people's right to assemble should be upheld regardless of who is in government or opposition. Last night, Nuriana had mocked the police's plan to set up roadblocks and expressed surprise at such actions occurring under the Madani government. In an Instagram story, she had questioned if they could get through if they are wearing a Bersih t-shirt. Meanwhile, former Bersih Steering Committee Secretary Mandip Singh took a swipe at Nuriana since the tables seemed to have been turned. He said this is the same method her father used against most of the protests they organized in the past. He added that perhaps she forgot, but they were also detained the night before because her father was afraid of the planned protests in KL. However, he also said that he did not agree with the setting up of roadblocks and was always for freedom of assembly, which is the basic right for every citizen that is protected under the federal constitution.
That is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.